Blue Monday took a little while for me to get into it. It to begin with, I thought this could be quite fun. Then after about a minute, I didn't really like the protagonist, the captain character. But actually, once the narrative got underway, I found it to be quite entertaining. Some people may think that this is not very politically correct, but actually, I think it depends on how you perceive this. Now, we'll talk a bit about that in a moment. Blue Monday was released originally in 1938. It's an MGM production directed by William Hanna, and it stars the brilliant Billy Bletcher as the voice of the captain and Martha Wentworth as Mama. And in this one, the captain wakes up one morning not really in a good mood. It's a Blue Monday, and I don't know if it's the actual Blue Monday, but he's getting very annoyed. His suspenders or his trousers have no buttons to take suspenders. He's fed up. He's complaining at Mama, who is trying to keep the house in order and do all of the housekeeping. But she's had enough of his whinging and whining, so she walks out and says, "If you're not happy with the way that I do it, you do it yourself." And for about half of the cartoon, it's about 9 minutes, and for the rest of it, it's him trying to do the housework and tackle all of the chores and making a right pig's ear or dog's dinner of it, and basically saying that you shouldn't whinge when somebody else is working hard. It's a really good message, of course, and I really enjoy that. And I just thought it was a fun story, not hilarious, but a relatively fun story about somebody who was whinging at somebody else for doing their job as best as they could, and then learning that actually it's not easy to do that job. But when I went on to IMDb, the description on IMDb says, and I quote, "What follows is pretty much the usual bunch of man keeping house jokes." And there's then the idea that this is actually making fun of a man who is trying to do the housekeeping. Whereas I didn't actually see that. And I'm not saying that I never see gender and that I can't perceive things as being, sexist or anything like that. Because I do, of course, I can see things like that. But I just didn't think that that's what the cartoon was trying to do. I didn't think the cartoon was trying to say, "You're a man, good luck doing this." I thought the cartoon was trying to say, "You're complaining that this person isn't doing their job good enough or well enough. You have a go and see how well you get on with it." So I'd be curious to know, if you watched this, what you read into it. Do you think it's a sexist cartoon saying that a man can't do the housework as good as Mama can? Or as well as Mama can? Or did you were you with me and just thinking that it's just saying that this person is whinging that this other person who has a different job isn't doing a good performance, but when they actually try and take on those duties, they realise that it's actually a really difficult balancing act? I don't know. I didn't read the kind of sexist man keeping house jokes into it, but I can certainly see why that would come across. If that is their intention, then that you could read well into that. So I'd be interested to know where your views are. As I said, it took a little while for me to get into it, but once it got underway and I realised what they were trying to do with it, or what I thought they were trying to do with it, I found it to be quite enjoyable and quite pleasant. So Blue Monday is never going to be one of my favourite shorts. Definitely never going to be one of my favourite animations. But it was pretty interesting and one that I think could definitely be a really good conversation starter.